Do you lack peace in your life? Have you noticed that there's this constant struggle that you are constantly struggling with? Like you're making the same mistake over and over and over again? Like there seems to be like a pattern? And by chance, have you ever considered that that might be messing or interfering with your relationships or your well-being or with your inner peace? Hey guys, this is Elizabeth, and you're listening to Missionaries of God's Love. Welcome back, and I want to wish everyone a happy, holy Thursday. Today we're going to be talking about Jesus wants to wash you. He wants to cleanse you. Would you let him? Today's video was inspired by John chapter 13, verses 1 through 15. As we remember Holy Thursday, we remember Jesus washing the feet of the disciples. That's exactly what we're going to be reading today. Feel free to grab your own Bible so you can read along with me. We will be reading John chapter 13, verses 1 through 15, which reads, "It was just before the Passover festival. Jesus knew the hour had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew the Father had put all things under his power, and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, 'Lord, are you going to wash my feet?' Jesus replied, 'You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand.' 'No,' said Peter, 'you shall never wash my feet.' Jesus answered, 'Unless I wash you, you have no part with me.' 'Then, Lord,' Simon Peter said, 'not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well.' Jesus answered, 'Those who had a bath need only to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean. And you are clean, though not every one of you.' For he knew who was going to betray him, and that was why he said, 'Not everyone was clean.' When he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and returned to his place. 'Do you understand what I have done for you?' he asked them. 'You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you.'" The word of the Lord. After reading this passage, I found that this topic came to mind. We notice that there are different degrees of dirtiness or of cleanness. We could tell that Judas was the one who was not clean. So we can say that there are people who are completely dirty or they're completely corrupt. And we can see this clearly with Judas as he was going to betray Jesus. He chose money over Jesus. He was the one who turned in Jesus, and that is how they were able to kill Jesus and crucify him. Okay, so we know that there is complete dirtiness. Just think of people who are completely corrupted. People who do bad and they honestly don't feel any remorse anymore. They don't feel bad anymore. They just do it like second nature. But then we see with Peter that only his feet needed to be washed because apparently Jesus said that he already had bathed and so only his feet were dirty. And I would like to say that that is where a majority of us come in. That we are not completely corrupt I would like to say that majority of us are good people. We have good intentions. We know that we should respect other people. We should treat other people kindly and so on. So like, we're not bad people. But there might be something where we're struggling with. And this is where I want to suggest that there might be some part of ourselves where we find ourselves falling into the same sin. And so here it can be maybe only our mind is dirty and maybe the rest of ourselves is okay or good or clean. But maybe our mind is where we're constantly struggling or facing temptation. And this could mean that we might be struggling with inappropriate thoughts, or we might be struggling with thoughts of anger, vengeance, thoughts where we wish bad towards other people, or thoughts where we criticize the people around us. And I would like to add that the devil loves to play and mess with our mind because he knows that once he controls our thoughts, he controls everything else about you, your emotions and your actions. So let's be careful with our mind, and especially what we feed our mind. Another part that maybe some of us might be struggling is with our heart. Maybe our emotions might be a little bit out of control and they're becoming a little bit too dominating, and maybe our emotions aren't positive. Maybe we're constantly feeling a lot of anger or sadness, disgust, indifference, or being cold towards other people. And this can affect our relationships or even our relationship with ourselves. Another part that might not be completely clean is maybe our tongue. Maybe the things we say are hurtful or inappropriate, or they're just straight out disrespectful. This might be a part that may need some cleansing. And there might be other parts of ourselves, like our soul, that might need cleaning. And so here we see that Jesus offers Peter to clean his feet. And Peter immediately says no. And so that's a question that I want to ask. If Jesus comes to you and says, I want to clean you, I want to cleanse that one part of you that you're really struggling with, or you're constantly maybe battling with, would you say yes? Or would you say no? Would you allow Jesus to clean you? For the people who say no, or maybe feel uncomfortable or scared or just unsure, I would suggest opening yourself to God and allowing Jesus into your life. Don't think that because there's some dirtiness in ourselves that Jesus will be scandalized by it or that he doesn't want to come near you. No, I want to remind each one of us that Jesus actually came on earth for the sinners. He didn't come to heal the people who were already okay or were doing great or were perfect. He actually came for the people who are imperfect and who are dirty. So please don't be afraid to hand over your struggles, your temptations, your sins to Jesus. I would say hand it to him, ask for his strength, ask for his mercy, and ask to be cleaned by him. Now, some of us who have been walking with God for a while may notice that sometimes as we get closer to God, some people say, I feel like there's more struggle or imperfections in me. Like I face more temptations now. And to that I would say that may be because before you were accepting the dirtiness or the sin or the temptation, and that is why you didn't see any problem before. But now that you're walking with Christ and you're trying to no longer fall into that temptation or to no longer fall in that one weakness that we have, that is why it feels like you are being tempted more. Because now you're not just going along with it. Now you're rejecting it with the help of God. And you're saying, no, I don't want this temptation. I choose Jesus. So that is one reason why you may be feeling that you are facing more temptations, even if you're already walking with God. All right, now for those of you who said yes and who want to be cleansed by Jesus, I leave you guys with Jesus. Open your heart and mind to Him. Tell Him, where do you want to be cleaned? Tell Him, Lord, clean my mind of my thoughts. Clean my mouth, so I only say things that are pleasing to you. Or clean my heart and my emotions, so I'm not so influenced by these negative emotions. Turn those negative emotions into positive emotions. And if I really am struggling with my emotions, Lord, teach me to ignore those negative emotions and to do the good that you want me to do. I leave you guys with Jesus. Tell Him, which part do you want to be renewed by Him? Pray to be cleansed so you can move closer to Him and so you can embrace Him. And with time and with the help of God and with perseverance, Jesus will clean you and you will be able to unlock an inner peace. I leave you guys with God and tell God, speak to me, O Lord, for your servant is listening.